Today we are visiting the Crystal Cove State Park, which is huge, but we just walked along the beach. We parked at the visitor parking lot and paid a hefty $15 fee, so get ready for that. When we started our hike, the skies had scattered clouds, but as the morning progressed, the clouds disappeared and the sun was shining bright overhead. These are some of the historic buildings along the beachfront dating from the early 1930s and 1940s. We stopped by the visitor center for a quick glimpse and met a very friendly and knowledgeable docent who told us about some of the history of the area. We then made our way to the beach. I had heard that there was heavy surf from a storm out at sea, but the waves we saw really weren't that big. On the opposite side of the beach, we saw some rugged cliffs. We found several tide pools along the shore, and in this pool, we saw several sea anemones and some hermit crabs. We saw thousands of mussels on the exposed rocks, but with the frequent spillage of raw sewage in the oceans, they are probably polluted and should not be consumed. These were probably the biggest waves we saw on our visit. They were nothing like what we expected based on news reports about heavy surf. Here you can see stratified rocks that were laid down flat, which have been uplifted due to geologic action. Here are some common sandpipers. This one is foraging for food, while this one is busy cleaning itself. On the opposite side of the beach, we saw some rugged cliffs which were formed about 25 million years ago, consisting of sand, silt, and clay. You can see some undercutting of some softer layers under the more hardy and dense layers. This fallen section of the cliff, with the hardy layers intact and the softer layers eroded, almost looks like an alien spaceship that crash-landed on the beach. We saw this discarded molted shell of a crab on the beach. In the distance, we saw some multi-million-dollar homes on the cliff top. There you can see a portion of Pacific Coast Highway. Saw this friendly guy metal detecting in the ocean. He later started looking closer to the cliffs as he didn't find anything at the water's edge.
a quarter right there.
Ah, okay.
This is a brown pelican just bobbing up and down on the waves. I think this is a pair of Apache helicopters on their way to the nearby military base. The helicopter is used for close air support of ground troops. The two-man crew sits in tandem, with the pilot sitting behind and above the co-pilot or gunner. They carry the Hellfire missile, which is an acronym for Helicopter Launched Fire and Forget. They can also be outfitted with Sidewinder missiles, and they carry 1,230mm rounds. This is a flock of sanderlings running back and forth as the waves come onto the shore and then receded. It was very amusing watching their little legs going a mile a minute. We concluded our beach walk and decided to get something to eat at the Shake Shack. Good food, great shakes. You pick up your shakes here first, and then get your food at the side window.